Welcome to Same-ish Different Day, a space where the thoughts are just as Welcome to Same-ish Different Day, a space where everything is on the table and the thoughts are just as frenetic as your Twitter feed. And just like your feed, we kick it off with some talks on some bullshit of the day, and eventually bring you some value with well-cited research on stories you may have missed.
Yeah, this show is the long-term format of Marching into Madness, a duo of journalists that are developing a content project about their passions. So get ready for that.
Yeah.
Some weeks our strange wine mom drops by to keep us in line, but she's been missing for a little bit, so we don't know what's going on with that.
But
the line, please. But she recently went out for milk and a pack of bogeys, but at least that's what she told us, so we assume she's gonna be back anytime now.
Oh, and socials were on all of them: TikTok, IG, YouTube, and Twitch, where we live stream these podcasts on a weekly basis. If you tune in, you can ride out with us afterwards.
Speaking of which, the future variant of this idiot will introduce us in 3, 2, 1, and then you just bring up the.
What's up, internets? Welcome to Same-ish Different Day, the podcast with a name that we cannot say anymore. This week, we're bringing you another wacky format, but with the same old goods that we deliver. You know, we're going to talk about something. We're going to go do some quick news talking, and then we're going to reveal what our plans are and have a little chat with you for you listeners tuning in. And we want to say hi to all the new, I know we got a lot of new international listeners. Shout out to you. Send Raza an email at marchingintomadness.gmail.com and tell him how much you like his hair. It's also a rule for our stream.
Yeah, please do. It helps the follicles just pop out and make that shit shiny.
No wacky Bailey this time. What's good? Been a minute. Happy you're tuning in. Happy you stuck around. Our stuff's always changing a little bit because we're trying to be realistic about the output. We have big ambitions for this, but it's hard to do this shit weekly. So we're not asking for you to line our pockets. We're just asking for you to share the content. So if you like what you're seeing, you think we can bring some valuable opinions or entertainment to people's lives, it would really help us out just to, spread the word, drop a share. Drop the follows, We got a lot of lurkers on Twitch. You like watching this live? Don't be afraid to tap in, say hi. We got a really friendly community. No matter what way you support us, we appreciate you so, so much. So thank you. Thank you. It's you. It's you. It's you. You did it. Okay. So this week, Raza wanted to talk about our experience watching the Video Game Awards. If you watch, if you watch our Twitch channel, you might have seen that. If you're interested, you can watch back. But if you're not that type of VOD viewer, don't worry about it. It's okay. The one thing I wanted to touch on, bro, let's give a quick intro of what the Video Game Awards are. If you're not like a North American person, if you're not just like a super gamer guy, what are the Video Game Awards and what's happening?
So because Bailey didn't read any of the stats afterwards, the Game Awards were simulcast to over 50 countries worldwide, and it's the highest ever. Every person over the world saw the Game Awards.
Then still, maybe not everyone's a weeb, bro. Maybe people get those are Video Game Awards, but maybe they don't understand. There's best director, there's best this.
Saw the Game Awards.
So what are they? So what are the awards, Raza? What are the awards? What were they awarding?
The awards are like the Oscars, but for video games, and it's like people get awards for everything to do with video games. If you're in the industry too, apparently esports coaches, which chatter, Flaccido over get awards, but it's just a celebration of games. There should be a best journalist, games journalist, and it should be me.
Yeah, that's it. We'll nominate you. That will be our viral campaign, Razo. We'll get
Just
you.
that. Just yeah. Please get me.
I want
I
my
want to
own
get it in the
category.
award. I want best Raza Malik a journalist, and the winner is for the 10th year in a row, Raza Malik. Like yay! I'm gonna do a 20-minute long speech because I am God of War.
Everybody,
But
this is what he thinks of in the morning. This is how he gets up. It's like he daydreams of this.
the kid at the end who crashed it and got like fucking like probably torn by Jeff Keighley was on a podcast this week or two podcasts this.
That's too
This
much.
kid's about he's about to get famous.
Okay,
I've
so
never seen this shit happen in real time before. I just want to make this clear. Seeing this a stunt like this, and I've never seen it in real time. I This is exciting for me,
yeah,
but this
we'll
has nothing
start
to
there.
do
We'll
with
start there.
we're
There,
talking
but
about.
that's good. We'll give the juicy drama news before we go full weeb, so that if people don't, if we can entertain the people who don't want the full weeb news. What I'm
Right.
looking for then, so this Bill Clinton kid they're calling him, which if you watch
Mhm.
mainstream news, you probably would have seen it as well. But if you're just not tapped into any of it, then fair. This kid, so someone rushed the. They didn't rush the stage. They snuck onto the stage during like one of the big. It was the Game of the Year award, wasn't it?
Yeah, he snuck on the stage with the Elden Ring mans.
Yeah. So as they got called
That's a
up,
good
they're like, "Oh
story.
yeah, this company wins." This kid just kind of snuck in and went to the front with them and then waited till the end and gave the weirdest speech.
His name is Matan Evan.
Yeah, and he's pulled like political stunts previously. So it
Oh
was
yeah,
kind of
I
like a
forgot you
viral
mentioned that. Yeah.
thing. So he was planning to pop off on it, but then he didn't say anything. His previous political stunts were at least not reasonable, but had a logical statement. And this one was just
Yeah,
weird and diluted.
was super weird. Yeah, he can't. I thought well, when he said uh, Bill Clinton is my former rabbi or whatever, I was like, wait, at that point, was I knew that something was up.
I did notice the kid. I noticed him, but I figured
Same here, but I
I
didn't
was
question
just
it.
trying
I
to
didn't question it.
I was trying to be positive and like, oh, whatever. What did some kid? I don't know. Maybe he worked on the shit. I
Yeah,
don't know. Maybe he's a They had a bunch of a lot of Japanese studios were there, and they had a bunch of translators. They'd always have a
translators.
translator on stage. So sometimes those translators did look out of place with the games people. So I was already like, okay, maybe it's an assistant. Fuck.
What the fuck do I know? Yeah.
Because he
No,
was
that's
lingering.
like
He was
yeah, like
wise. He knew. He thought. He clearly wasn't some creepy dum dum. Because he was like thinking about it. He was like positioning himself in certain spots the entire time.
mhm. I didn't even see him walk up. He was actually that in the in like the thing.
Yeah. But so
Hmm.
everyone's worry from a larger perspective is like security.
Yeah, Jeff Keighley 20 minutes after, not even 15, 10, 15 minutes after, tweeted out, uh, the child has been, or the 15-year-old teenager has been arrested, as if that's like he's just like he ruined my show. I'm gonna shame him. Well, I'm putting this tweet out. So it's it's very yeah. He was mortified.
So
He
this
was
is also
fucking
for
oh my god.
Bebe and the audience. Who's Jeff Keighley? Who's Jeff Keighley?
Jeff Keighley is the host of
Oh, from
the award show. The
every
main
year.
white guy. Yeah, it's his
Every
show.
year. He's just always done it.
It's his thing. Yeah. So
He's
he's like
just the
this.
Game
Him and
Awards
Spike
guy.
TV had a deal, and then Spike TV I guess stopped doing it, and then he went put his own money into it. But now he has like sponsorships, whatnot. He's like He's from Toronto.
He's a Canadian
He's
video
like
game
a
journalist.
he's a former video games journalist now. He just does in industry things like hosting the Game of the Year awards. That's his baby. Um, and then he used to do. I think he used to do other stuff too,
He
like
was working
uh,
with
uh,
G4
uh
TV and those independent
GTV. That's the one.
outlets.
Yeah,
He used to host a couple shows there. And then
yeah.
this is you're right. So he was an
X
executive
Play.
producer of the awards at Spike as
Yeah,
well. So that's why he got to maintain the producer rights.
control of it. Yeah, and rights. Yeah, and then now it's in his complete control too. People pay him, so he's fucking doing good for him. He's a good. He's a interesting. Follow him himself. Gives me that awkward white guy vibe.
He appeared as a character in Death Stranding.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Him and there are several other games journalists that made it.
He was in the game Among Us. There was a brief period where players could play as Jeff Keighley.
Oh, cool. Did not know
Um,
that.
in 2021, Jeff Keighley was cast as Uncle Theodore in Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And
I'm Jeff
Keighley
Curley.
had a cameo in The Matrix Resurrections.
Probably. He's all about video games. I don't fucking remember that.
Yeah, they said it as an awards presenter. I'm sure he was just on a TV in the background somewhere.
Yeah.
Just to
Which
add
is
it to
all
his
about video
IMDb, because
games. Yeah.
I know we're Canadian. Keanu, we're Canadian.
Okay, and so is Jeff Keighley.
Yes, give us. Let's spread the wealth. But so from
Sorry.
last year's awards,
I don't
was
know.
this a step
Okay.
up or
What
down?
sort? Do you remember last year's Game Awards?
Yeah, briefly. It was just like my personal major beef with this is because it's just like ad
Yeah.
rolls. It becomes brain mush to Bebe. That I get
Notice
triggered by like when someone mentions the game or I see an image of it, then I remember the trailer, but I ingest content, the content, and it just gets filed away, and I can't pull it out unless I get the photograph to spark that or arouse it.
no, I think so. There's a lot of things about that. The thing that I've read, it was Microsoft's way to be at the award show. Because did you notice how many Game Pass? So Game Pass for you guys that may not know, because Bailey would be like, Riza, can you tell our viewers what a Game Pass is? And I want to avoid that entire thing, so I'm gonna tell what Game Pass is. Game Pass is Netflix with games. Pay into the service and get these thousands of games. Bailey
Mm-hmm.
enjoys it, so he
Mm-hmm.
can attest for it. But I think it's because Microsoft needed a presence at the Game Awards because there were a lot of Game Pass ads. I didn't know, I did notice that of a lot of like it's available on Game Pass or just Game Pass ads in general. I think you are right, but I do think there was also a reasoning behind.
Well, I feel like Microsoft could offer a lot more logistic support as well as their literal financial payments for the ads. I feel like you're going to need a lot of bandwidth services, you're going to need a lot of this, you're going to need a lot of computer shit. So I'm sure
Uh,
Microsoft being a major sponsor got a lot of leverage as well.
or they could have used the Jeff Keighley Hub, which is just this limitless internet service from the one and only Jeff Keighley. The only catch, if you go to his house and hang out with him.
He
Or
watches reruns of Spike TV still.
yeah, Spike TV talks about the good old days of those award shows. Like we could get away with so much here. Look at the strip club in the back and present the awards because Spike TV is man. But yeah, um, That's another good thing. It's
So,
like,
but objectively, as an objective person who's like medium informed on gaming, I found it better. It was paced way better. The last one, I found that like they burned hot, so it was like put all the fire shit at the beginning and then it fizzled out. But this time it kind of like paced it all out well, and that's especially considering when you had like Game of War, Game of War, God of War, which I don't have to explain. I feel like people should know about that one. It's like
yeah.
it was expected to sweep the entire thing. So the fact that they kept the pacing okay, even though everyone knows what the fuck is happening, it was
Mhm.
well done in that way. I liked that way better.
By the way, that Bitcoin guy, I got an alert. This is a good podcast. Like, he's that Sam Bankman Fried guy.
Yeah.
Man
SBF.
just got arrested in the Bahamas.
Wow. He's getting
Ah,
extradited?
yeah, obviously.
I'm surprised that
I
they got
think,
that off so quick. That's wild.
yeah. Bitcoin money, baby.
Supreme Court's on moving. People pissed because they lost so much money. I guess you're fucking with rich people's money by that point.
Yeah, they're gonna make it happen, regardless. But back
It's
to
just
what
something that
you
it's
were
almost
talking
like
about.
42 billion, billions just woo, floating
It's just
away.
floating away. Yeah, it sucks,
Um,
but what can at least it's an us.
so did you expect anything or were you surprised by anything?
Um, I I was surprised. I was surprised by Dune. That was such a. I was even thinking about that. Like, there's no way Dune is gonna show up here. The Dune Awakening MMO, for you guys who don't know, made by the people who made, I believe, Conan, and it's Funcom, and Funcom has the money because it's the Chinese government backing them.
Mm-hmm.
So so they're going to spend a lot of money on this IP. So I don't know. I was surprised with that. I knew Jedi Survivor was coming. Apparently there's a rumor that Obi-Wan could be in it. He's fucking cock teasing us. Cal Kestis in interviews. He's like, it's a new and old meat.
It'll either be that or I think considering they're doing the whole seeking out the kids thing, they might do like a Luke in that period.
They better not. No, fuck Luke. We're done. I hope Respawn knows the fact that.
Well, because they just started showing how badass he was, that you could do it with the game, have him come in, do his quick cut scene, like they did with all the other cameos at the end of the first
But
game.
they've already used him so many times. In Battlefront 2, he's in it.
I guess, but they're trying to treat it totally different than that. They're
Bailey,
trying to
I'm right and
they're
you're
trying
wrong.
to weld a tale about compassion and who has more compassion than an orphan
Obi
child.
fucking won.
Obi-Wan. You
Yeah,
think
exactly.
Obi-Wan? I think you just like Obi-Wan the best, and I think that you want that to be the solution.
That's actually, yes. Obvious. I'm not hiding behind that. It's shame that the show was trash,
Yeah. I am
just like all Star Wars.
I'm excited for the Armored Core announcement. That was the one I didn't expect, and I would be
There is
very
multiplayer. I
interested to
was
play
just
that.
I'm reading a tweet a couple minutes ago. It said there was multiplayer, but
Yeah.
there's a specific focus on single player.
Oh yeah, I'm okay with it. It's like very nerdy. It's like very weeby. I used to play that when I was a little
I
kid, and I was a little too dumb for it, and now I feel like
Me
okay,
too. I was like, this
I would
game's a
like to
bit too
replay.
like I'm going through all the levels. I'm getting no. Like nothing bad is happening to me. It's giving me letters as like SAB. I didn't even understand that concept on the PS2 days.
I was like modding
Not
everything and I
weird.
understood what it was, but my little sporadic brain was like, I cannot retain this. This is too much. Too much. I got too many other things I got to remember. I can't remember what all these little bits and doodads do.
Yeah, it was so weird how it played too. It was like you it was I yeah, it's the micromanaging was over the top in that game.
I didn't mind a good micromanager, man. I've went off on my chows in Sonic Adventure. I will fucking chow karate all day, dog, just to get those little fucking special cute boys.
Goes to show you and I have very different. I just want to kill things like gun.
That no, I like to like I don't I like a weird balance. I used to do that, and then like MMOs. I was early on MMOs.
Yeah, because I had a PS2 growing up. I was like platformers, but then I think when I got a 360, that's when I started to go into first person shooters, and then the game started to get more complicated. So you had your third
Mhm.
person. Well, no, there were third person like Grand Theft Auto existed on PS2, but like my open world Assassin's Creed bullshit in 2006.
Yeah, I started off as a PC gamer. I always was playing on the PC.
Same. No,
Yeah,
wait, no. I didn't start off as P. I have a PS2.
so my computer couldn't handle much, and then I would go to my rich friend's house, and he had several badass computers, and they would all be LAN.
Several.
They'd be LAN connected. So before you could do like online multiplayer, we could like hop in LAN matches on Diablo and blah blah blah.
Kids LAN is local area network. It's when you had to be in the same room to play with your friend. Now this weird thing called internet
Yeah.
servers.
Yes.
These matchmaking. It's so fucking revolutionary.
It's way better, bro. Man, those days were hectic because then you'd have to
I
bring
know.
all the cables and plug all the shit in. I did it once or
Again,
twice, but we were
I,
too
I
lazy
had
after that.
a I had a PS2, so I didn't play multiplayer games for like a while.
We did a LAN party for Halo 2 was the last one we all hucked our shit together to do.
And then your life went downhill after that. It
Hmm.
was so the anniversary of Halo is always a fucking dark time.
Yeah, sorta. Halo 3, I was grounded. I
Your
was
parents
grounded.
divorced.
About that time, yes. About that time. Yeah.
It happened to. That's the season of getting divorces.
Yeah, Halo releases, world record setting releases.
Three of my friend or four of my friends got their parents divorced or on a Halo release. It's like having two Christmases. I'm jealous about that.
Yeah. Fuck you. So why we're so you can we kind of already touched on highlights. I'm skipping that one. Is next year looking good for you then, game wise, after what we saw?
Yeah, June, March. Uh, Jedi Survivor is coming out.
Hmm.
Keep playing that, dude. You should see the specs on that game. Recommended is a 2070. He's doing it
Yeah, oh
right
yeah.
right now, in case you can't see it. Uh, and then yeah, like Hades 2 looks kind of cool. I think that's coming out
That did look
next
cool.
year.
It made me want to. I didn't play those. I have to. I was like, that would tickle
Yeah,
my fancy too. That's the type of. I'm okay with that type of micro as well. I know that's a bit of micromanagement too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So no,
The
no,
Judas. I
sort
forgot
of,
about that
sort of.
Bioshock sequel.
Judas looks. Yeah, it's Bioshock. It's literally
Yeah.
Bioshock Infinite. It's fucking. He couldn't take the, the name, so he just like I'm gonna call it something else, and then make my buy it. But because it's I just played Infinite, and it's just instead of it's the hand powers are on the hand now
Hmm.
instead of you drinking shit. better time management skills than you. I can put in a 3 hour gaming
Yes.
session in.
In this case, yes. In this
Thank you.
case, yes, because
Okay, word.
I used to have a problem with game. I had to quit it because I couldn't stop myself. So I gotta be careful when
That's
I'm like,
it
oh, I
seems to
could
be a
just do a bit of
user
this.
issue.
It is a you. It is a babe. This is me. You broke my
Yeah.
brain. You broke my brain.
Get
So,
good. You just get good at not being just don't be addicted to playing video games.
oh yeah, for
Wait,
those that
12?
care, Diablo 4 is coming out in June, and I would
That's
probably like to play that. I would play that.
which is super weird. They're just dropping that. See, I didn't expect that to come. Me too. I forgot a bunch of the announcements. Let's just look this up real quick. Video game awards. The bangest ones, and then Death Stranding 2 was also kind of weird, dude. The game that Billy likes. Just go back to one of our earlier podcasts. This man is defending it with his entire life.
Because I support. That's why I was surprised as we were watching the awards live. I was very surprised that Hideo Kojima got another opportunity at it. Because I support. We should have more people just making art. It's an art form as it is. So why are all the fucking video games just about pumping out money and sponsorships and shit? So I
Also,
defend it in that
a
way. I think it
walking
deserves to
simulator
exist. But
art.
he's a madman, but there's a lot of story elements in there.
Yeah, there are stories. There's true, but there's also more walking. You're right about art. You're right about that, but the art, but with gaming, it's also about the engagement, right? You also got to
For some
engage the
people,
player.
clearly that walking sim was immersive, quote unquote.
And I'm sorry, that's some bullshit.
I think
I'm
for
sorry.
a normie gamer, it probably was. You want to go bang bang, and rightfully, maybe I would say, rather than critique you, you have more experienced tastes. So maybe you have a better spectrum of palette to go, no, just because there's art here doesn't make this part good because you've played more video games.
I'm gonna counter that and say I have played walking simulators, better ones.
Like what?
Mi- fucking no, I played walking simulator. Fuck.
I
Yeah.
had to. I'm
Uh,
sorry. You had to pose a QWERTY.
I'm gonna quickly Google the one I played. No, yeah, I don't know. It's just like yes, I feel like for that is right, but at the same time, I think that this is a game that stuck up its own ass a little bit.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
I would
it's
agree.
like hey, oh, it's an art form.
Here he's
It's a
traveling through
deep.
time. He's also maybe dead, and he's got a ghost chasing him. And is he the baby? Or is he not the baby? Who's the
So
baby?
am I the baby? There it is. But it's see even that you could literally explain that better talking to me. But for a
Yeah.
game to spend most of the time fucking walking around and you picking up those pieces, this is the same complaint I have with him. It's just like you can hide a very lame story underneath complex themes and interesting
Yeah.
ideas, but at the end of the day, it's a very blah story.
Yeah, I have to bring the same energy. It's the same like Zack Snyder-esque critique, right? If you have to do
Yeah,
all this bullshit, right, is it really that good? Like, you're kind of
yeah,
like you got a mediocre cake and you've just covered it in really fancy ganache and fucking
yeah.
tasty toppings,
And
but
then
when you
you
cut
get to it
into
like
it, yeah,
as dry as was shit. So yeah, it just goes back to like him being who he is, and they're like, oh, give him all the monies, regardless of how it is. And yeah, it just a weird time that we're getting to Death Stranding 2. I never pegged him for the guy. Actually, yeah, he put out so many Metal Gears.
yeah, oh
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, he likes to run with it because then he can get weirder with it. And That's when I think Zack Snyder might have been a good comparison because he likes to world build because then his lore makes him look it gets the people sucked in. I think he's aware of
Yeah, but
this.
like 2 releases in or 2 entries in the series, that's when the actual story starts to happen.
He did it with
This is
Metal Gear. People have like
uh
10-hour
but
videos
it's
on
diff
YouTube just
but
explaining
Metal
how all the
Gear,
Metal
he was
Gears are
doing it at a
connected.
time when that was a new way of doing it, right? I think he figured out like, oh, why don't I
Yeah, oh
just,
yeah,
do it
definitely.
how books do it? Just build this whole foundation. And what's the first Metal Gear? Just Metal Gear, right?
It's
I've only
Metal Gear
played, dude.
Solid for the like SNES or some shit.
I played the one
Or
on the
PS1.
Xbox, the Phantom
PS1.
Pain. It's not good.
The Phantom Pain. Yeah, some people that's that's the very last one or the one right before it.
That's the very last. Oh no, the one before it. The very last one is like survive.
Okay,
It's like zombies.
oh no, the zombies one. No one counts the zombies one because the
Yeah,
zombies one are what they pumped out after they fired Hideo.
yeah, yeah. It was a multiverse thing.
So Phantom Pain, not a lot of people liked. All the nerds didn't really like it. They were so dissatisfied with the like conclusion to everything.
I forgot it was a movie. I played like not long the entire time. A good
And
3 hours, by the way. I played,
the
but in
multiplayer
total.
concept was interesting, but then not fleshed out. It got so
Yeah,
repetitive.
I
It was
played
like the most
most of
boring
it.
shit. It was cool at first, and then it was like, no, it's just the same thing over and over.
And then it was so weird. You could buy the prequel to Phantom Pain. I think they're called Ground Zeroes or
Yeah.
something like that. It was like one mission. There's
So
like
people, do you want I can give you the Metal
I
Gear
got
nerd
it
if you want the.
free on Games with Gold, so I didn't pay money for it. But I fell for it.
Yeah, so the critique is like that first demo, everyone loved it because it was more to the original franchise, like stealth focused and doing like everything in a confined space and like a linear landscape. And then the game that they got was like this weird, disjointed explore Afghanistan and
Yeah.
teleport. And it was like that was not this. These were two different products that you marketed to us.
We want our Metal Gear back, and we want it back now. I
Like
believe they're. I don't know if they're working on a new one.
they got a lot of flack after the zombies one. As far as I'm aware, there's an announcement that they're trying to work with the franchise. Isn't it like a multiplayer game that they're making, like another multiplayer game?
Reverse. The weird multiplayer game. I have it. It came with Resident Evil 8.
Weird.
It is. It's with all of the Resident Evil characters universe.
If
Hence
you've got
Reverse.
if you got the stands, the audience to keep that operational, then I kind of understand. But are things looking bright for you next year, Raza? Is the sun shining down on your gaming purview for the coming year?
Yeah, we're getting a bunch of games, good ones. The one I'm excited about is Jedi Survival Alive. What's the other one? Uh, Returnal. I really want to check out that's coming to PC.
Mm-hmm.
I've been
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to it. Really am liking the whole style of that game, the whole like rogue like mechanic. That's the one I'm looking for. The
That one
Suicide
looked
stuff
pretty, but I
like
know nothing about it. I
it's like neither do I. All
yeah,
I know is it's like it's like a you live, die, and repeat.
yeah. You got to piece together her memories.
Yes, and then the Cyberpunk DLC. That's the other one I wanted.
Yeah, we got Idris. Idris coming.
Idris,
Idris
Idris.
Keanu are gonna have a dream battle.
They're gonna make out later. I mean, after in this, if you pick the right romance options. Uh, But yeah, that's what I'm really looking forward to because like I haven't even beaten the actual game, like the story. But there's so much to do, and now that there's a more story, so I'm just gonna wait till this.
I'm just gonna give it plenty of time, and then I'll
Yeah,
get into it. I'm gonna give it plenty
and
of time because they're gonna fix it. That's the one thing. I think they'll stick with it, but it's still gonna be a hot minute until everything's like what they
since
wanted.
the next gen update for The Witcher 3 comes out, it's
Cool.
free for everybody who owns it. No, it is looking good next year. We're probably gonna get a lot of delays though. That's inevitable. Suicide Squad maybe pushed back. I don't know. That's really. Did we get a release date for Suicide Squad?
I don't know. I closed
No,
everything.
no, 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 no. We. Oh, okay. That's my cue to stop talking.
What?
But yeah,
Oh.
that's all I'm looking forward to. And yeah, and the Hellboy game looks also good too.
And I'm excited to watch Raza play them.
Yeah, he sure is.
But either way, it was still interesting. I enjoyed attending. It was a good experience to like witness the stuff and stay tuned. And I like seeing like the direction things are going. I felt hopeful that not everything is like gonna be a battle royale FPS anymore.
I think that trend is over now.
Thank God. So it was very refreshing to be like, okay, there's a whole bunch of shit here.
Whereas we didn't see any like main big like AAA mainline games.
I think they're
Yeah,
all panicking because of the botched releases.
but it's also kind of interesting how like we saw a lot of small double and indie games, not like those massive ones.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think that probably has to do with the price tag of the event because I think a smaller studio is going to take the gamble on it, and then if they're like a mid-sized studio, they could just invest their investor money a bit more into their own publicist shit, around that season.
mhm.
But versus it's like if I'm a small studio, but I do have an extra 100K in my budget, then it's like okay, let's fucking Super Bowl it up.
Send it. Yeah. The other thing, we saw my homie's game, Meet Your Maker. That looks actually
And there you go.
way
Give the shout out. Give the shout out.
It looks, yeah, it looks good on. It was not what I expected from what I saw. Um, it's yeah. I'm probably gonna play that at some point. We're definitely
I think we'll
gonna
get into
play
that.
that
I think we'll
at
really
some
get into
point.
that.
I do. Yeah,
We got to make
it's a
puzzles for
first
each other.
person, and yeah, and like attack each other too. So I'm very interested
Yeah,
of how that's gonna
it'll be good. It'll be good
turn out.
content.
Well, yeah, it'll be good. Give he'll definitely like it. Not biased at all.
I know. This is my first game. Did you see my
Yeah,
friend made this game?
I remember this game. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Um,
anyways, guys, I think Bailey wants to go now.
yeah, I want to leave forever. I'm trying to leave the show,
Yeah,
Raza. So, what, what,
that
what,
would be
what,
so
what?
nice.
Summarize the game awards in one word. What's the one
Ex-
word?
Perfect.
Whoa, that's
Perfect.
confident.
Actually, no. It was swell. I want to go with swell.
Swell,
It was
swell. I
swell,
support a swell. I think
which
swell is
is
adequate.
a notch below perfect because like there wasn't
Hmm.
expecting.
Swell has got to be 2, 3 notches below perfect, bro.
Okay, 2 3.
It's ad time again. Nice to see you here. You like how weird all of this is? You can't keep track of it. It's eclectic but entertaining. Can't look away. Feels like a train wreck. Well, what you can do, head over to our YouTube channels. We've got 2, maybe 3 of them. Drop a subscription. You might get videos daily. Maybe even more than one a day. We'll see. Once we're successful, maybe we can do more. Tell Raza I miss him. Tell him to come home, please. Since we got some announcements after I threw together an eclectic list of news that I was keeping track of through the week, just to fire off some updates. Since we're not doing the official format, we still wanted to like bring you the goods, as they say. So,
I don't know
Raza.
any of these news just stories. I just want to point that out.
Okay, so the first one is you see that Brittany Griner got
Oh, I know
traded
that one.
for
Yeah.
the Merchant of Death, right?
It's cool though because the Merchant of Death has lower rebounds and then also of a high that joke is not stolen, by the
So
way,
I thought the
but
name
high
was
the
familiar.
defense.
I thought the name was familiar, and I remember I googled it and I was correct. That Nick Cage movie, Lord of War, where he like goes to Africa and he like sells the old U.S. guns, all that shit. That
Jared
was
Leto's
him.
in it.
That was that dude's story.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's an American?
He did the whole he was the GTA 4 character. He was like an immigrant from a small he was like the Balkan state of Russia.
Oh,
And
and then
then
he
that's
immigrated
how
to
he was.
America. That's how. But
And
Nick
then when he
Cage
was
isn't
evading
Russian.
capture, he went back to Russia and blah blah blah.
I mean, Russia is going to be is he going to jail in Russia? Probably not.
Um I would have to do a serious Google, so I have to make sure that I'm not talking out of my ass. But if I'm correct, because he was like from a Balkan state, there's a good chance that Putin may not be his friend. But now, at the same time,
Um,
considering everything going on in the world, if he still's got stashes of money and useful things to Putin, I'm pretty sure that it'll be his friend.
oh, money talks even in Russia.
Yeah, you know what I mean. This guy's got it. He's at least got something. There's no way he doesn't. Hey, he was a literal international arms dealer. You're expecting him to not have some sort of stash somewhere. That's why it's so
He
sketchy
he
to release him.
he gave it away to charity. I would do that.
Yeah, just yeah, here you go. Here, UN, take all my M16s.
And then
Merry
here's some money.
Christmas.
Yeah, smelt this. And then I also give you world peace. Huh? Take that, Elon Musk.
I give you world peace made out of bullets. So, next fast news. So you know how Nintendo is always trash with their like customer relations and uh, working with the
Yeah,
gamers, right?
but yet a beloved company. I don't know why.
So, did you see any of the drama that a whole bunch of Smash tournaments got canceled and everyone was bitching about it?
A little bit, but I did not go in too deep with it. But I assume you were gonna fail me.
So
But
Super Smash Brothers, there was like two tournaments. One was run by like an independent group that's been always running it since back in the day when they had to bring like CRT TVs everywhere and blah blah blah.
mhm.
Um, and then another one, which was called the Panda Cup, was like run by this
I heard
rich
about the Panda
CEO
Cup.
guy. Yeah. So this rich CEO guy had direct connections with Nintendo because money. He knew them from business in Japan. So he would go around pulling like Donald Trump moves on all these innocent little gamers trying to run Super Smash Brothers tournaments. So
Jesus Christ.
the drama came out because he would go around to people hosting like local tournaments like across the world and be like, well, you know, you should probably sign up your tournament under my banner because if you
Mhm.
don't, it would be a shame if Nintendo started placing restrictions on small tournaments and you would have to be part of a larger world championship. So maybe
Oh, okay.
you should sign with me so that you can make sure you can still operate. He was pulling
Yeah.
the he wasn't like that was the drama. Like he wasn't explicitly like doing bad business or stiff arming people, but he was being skeezy, and everyone had email
Yeah,
records of it and shit like that.
that's so
So
funny. So what happened to him?
what happened was the fan run tournament ended up canceling because
Mhm.
Nintendo canceled it. It didn't pass
Okay.
Nintendo's inspection. And then it turns out that this guy running his entire world championship as well, that whole thing's closed now. Because as
Oh
soon as these
shit.
news stories started to break, a lot of the esports gamers, even the commentators, all dropped out of the league. They're all like, I don't want to participate. And then a few days after that, they were
He
like, okay,
canceled
then
it.
we'll just fuck the whole thing. So it sets
Oof.
it's good because it got this weird corruption out, but now the problem's not solved, and all the world championships are canceled. There is no world championship now, and all
Oh
these
fuck.
people. Imagine all this shit is like grassroots. It's just like a couple people organizing it locally, probably like 15, 20 people. So imagine all that money. They're not really making that much money off the shit, and now they got to go without it.
100%. That's so fucking funny about like I mean it's not funny, but it's so weird how like kind of like yeah, kind of Donald Trump. He was like, "Yeah, I'll make a deal. You, I will pay you. Or no, you give me. I'll give you protection from all of
Yeah.
the FTC and whatnot." And then all of a sudden this happens. So oh my, so I assume everybody is like recuperating.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it's all a lot of good creators. The Ludwig guy held a bunch of fundraising shit for the grassroots people, and a whole bunch of other streamers and platforms
mm.
helped pitch money to pay the salaries of the people who were all running the world championship tour that